The true point of divergence in American history was the influx of labor from the Irish potato famine. It drove almost 2 million Irish immigrants to the United States due to potato crop failures and a devastating famine in the 1840s. These Catholic immigrants had few skills and very little money, so they provided a steady stream of cheap labor to the United States' growing economy. This influx of immigrants spurred movements of nativism because native-born Americans feared that the newcomers would take their jobs and weaken their culture. These nativists were mainly Protestants who distrusted the Roman Catholic Irish. These movements led to sporadic rioting and the formation of a secret anti-foreign society, the Supreme Order of the Star-Spangled Banner, which later evolved into a political party called the American Party or the Know-Nothing Party. If the Irish potato famine had not occurred, the United States would have evolved differently. Economically, many factories which sprung up at this time depended on the cheap labor provided by a surplus of unskilled wage workers willing to work in factories. If the Irish potato famine had never happened, Europeans would have had little incentive to immigrate to the United States and increase our labor class. Few Europeans wanted to leave their countries to seek work in the American factories in the North, and even fewer wanted to go to the South where the plantation economy and slavery limited opportunities for free labor. In the short term, many factories from the American Industrial Revolution would not have been formed, decreasing the magnitude of the Industrial Revolution and decreasing the supply of mass-produced consumer goods. This would have limited the expansion of the American middle class, which was materialistic in the time, in the short term, and it would have diminished the idea of a self-made man in the long term, because not many lower-class workers would have had the social mobility to be able to earn their way into the middle class. Not only would people have had less access to goods, the U.S. would not have been able to export as many goods to accumulate wealth. This would have hindered the United States from becoming the industrial power that it became in the long term. Socially, in the short term, there would not have been rioting caused by anti-foreign sentiment, so there wouldn't have been an atmosphere of distrust and an invisible cultural divide between wage-working Catholic immigrants and native-born Protestants. The nativist movement wouldn't have been sparked by this sudden increase in immigration, so it wouldn't have set a long-term precedent for future waves of immigration. Every time there's a sharp increase in immigration that seems to threaten the native-born majority, several people develop strong anti-immigrant views as a result of past nativist movements. This leads to social discrimination against certain people groups until they're assimilated into American society. Even today, there is heated debate about immigrants taking jobs in the United States because native-born citizens have to compete with them for jobs.